The emperor's own daughter pleaded for her life as the bathhouse filled with steam, locked inside by her own father's orders. The temperature rose to unbearable levels. Her skin burned, her lungs struggled for air, and her screams went unanswered. The man who ordered this horrific execution wasn't just any ruler. He was Constantine the Great, the emperor who would later be celebrated for bringing Christianity to the Roman Empire. Welcome back to Crimes of the Crown, where we uncover the darkest deeds of history's most powerful rulers. Today we're exploring how Constantine the Great, the emperor credited with transforming Rome into a Christian empire, also had a ruthlessly violent side, one that even his own family wasn't safe from. See, 4th century Rome was a world in transition. The once mighty empire had been fragmented and weakened by civil wars and power struggles. Into this chaos stepped Constantine, a military commander with ambition like few before him. Born around 272 CE to Helena, a commoner, and Constantius Chlorus, a military officer who would later become emperor. Constantine grew up witnessing the brutal politics of imperial Rome. He learned early that power was everything and family ties were secondary to ambition. By 312 CE, Constantine had fought his way to control the western half of the empire. His defining moment came at the Battle of Milvian Bridge, where he claimed to have seen a vision of a cross in the sky with the words in this sign, "Conquer." After his victory, Constantine began embracing Christianity, though his understanding and practice of it would remain complicated. But our story today isn't about Constantine's religious conversion. It's about what happened when his family became obstacles in his path to absolute power. Constantine's personal life was as tangled as the politics of Rome. His first marriage to Minerva gave him a son named Christmas, who grew to become a handsome, capable young man, a successful military commander, perhaps too successful for his own good. After Minerva's death or divorce, history isn't clear which Constantine married Fausta, daughter of the former Emperor Maximian. This was a political alliance that gave Constantine 3 more sons: Constantine II, Constantius II, and Constans. By 326 CE, Constantine ruled a unified empire. He should have been at the height of his power and satisfaction. Instead, suspicion and paranoia began to consume him. What happened next would shock even the violence-hardened citizens of Rome. In early 326 CE, Constantine suddenly ordered the execution of his eldest son, Christmas, a young man in his 20s, who had proven himself in battle and was beloved by the people. The charges never officially stated. Historical sources mention vague accusations of plotting against the emperor. Many historians believe something more personal was at play. The execution was swift and ruthless. Some accounts suggest poison, others strangulation. Christmas was erased from official records. His name chiseled from monuments in a practice Romans called damnatio memoria, the condemnation of memory. But Constantine wasn't finished. Shortly after Christmas's execution, his attention turned to his wife, Empress Fausta. And this is where our shocking title comes from, though with an important clarification. While Constantine didn't have a daughter named Fausta, his second wife, Fausta, was indeed killed on his orders in a heated bathhouse, essentially boiled alive. According to multiple ancient sources, including the historian Zosimus, Constantine had Fausta locked inside an overheated bath until she died from the extreme temperature. The bathhouse execution was chosen as a particularly horrific method, one that would leave no visible wounds but cause excruciating suffering. Why would Constantine kill both his wife and his son in such quick succession? This is where history offers us several compelling theories. Theory 1. The most scandalous explanation comes from contemporary gossip. Some sources suggest Fausta falsely accused Christmas of trying to seduce her, a Roman version of the biblical story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Constantine, in rage, executed his son. Then, when he discovered Fausta had lied, he turned his wrath on her. Theory 2. Fausta and Christmas were actually having an affair, threatening Constantine's honor and the succession plans for his other sons. Theory 3. This was purely about power. Christmas was becoming too popular, threatening Constantine's position. Fausta, meanwhile, wanted to secure the succession for her biological sons by eliminating their half-brother. After Christmas's death, Constantine eliminated Fausta to tie up loose ends. Whatever the truth, the aftermath was chilling. Just like with Chris, Constantine attempted to erase Fausta from history. All images of her were destroyed, her name removed from inscriptions. It was as if she had never existed. To understand these brutal actions, we need to remember that Roman imperial politics was a deadly game. Constantine himself had risen to power through civil war. He'd witnessed and ordered countless deaths. Family executions weren't uncommon in Roman imperial history. Emperor Augustus exiled his own daughter. Nero allegedly killed his own mother, as we've talked about. Constantine's contemporary and rival Leonius had executed the wife and son of Emperor Gallius. But what makes Constantine's actions particularly jarring is the contrast with his religious policies. In the same year as these killings, 326 CE, Constantine was building churches and positioning himself as Christianity's great champion. Some historians suggest the guilt from these family murders actually accelerated Constantine's embrace of Christianity, specifically because the new religion offered forgiveness for sins, the traditional Roman religion did not. History is written by the victors, and Constantine certainly won his place in history. Despite these horrific crimes, he would go on to rule for another 11 years. Dying in 337 CE, after finalizing plans to be baptized as a Christian, Constantine transformed the Roman world. He established Constantinople as a new capital, embraced Christianity, and set the stage for the Byzantine Empire that would last another 1,000 years. Christian historians worked hard to present Constantine as a saintly figure, conveniently overlooking the bathhouse and execution of Christmas. For centuries, his image as the first Christian emperor overshadowed his darker deeds. Was Constantine a visionary leader who united a fractured empire and embraced a revolutionary new faith? Or was he a ruthless killer who didn't hesitate to murder his own family members when they became inconvenient? The truth, as often happens with historical figures, lies somewhere in the murky middle. Constantine was both the emperor who standardized Christianity and the man who boiled his wife alive in a bathhouse. His story reminds us that power corrupts, that history is complex, and that even the most celebrated figures often have blood on their hands. Next week on Crimes of the Crown, we'll explore the deadly rivalry between Elizabeth I and Mary, Queen of Scots, and the 19-year game of cat and mouse that ended with a severed head rolling across the execution platform. If you enjoyed this dark dive into Roman imperial politics, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and let me know in the comments which royal criminal you want me to cover next. Until next time, remember, crowns may glitter, but they're often stained with blood.